Have you ever turned on the tap and just nothing came out? For a few hours, it's an inconvenience. But imagine that for a whole city or an entire nation. What happens when a country literally runs out of water? This isn't some far-off sci-fi plot. It's a reality knocking on the door for many places around the world. Let's dive deep into what this water crisis really looks like. First, let's talk about the immediate, most obvious impact: public health. Without clean water, sanitation systems break down almost instantly. Toilets don't flush. Waste piles up in the streets. This creates a perfect breeding ground for diseases. Cholera, typhoid, dysentery, illnesses that many of us only read about in history books, can make a terrifying comeback. Hospitals, which need immense amounts of water to maintain hygiene, become overwhelmed. They can't sterilize equipment, wash hands, or even provide patients with a simple drink. A healthcare system without water is a system on the verge of collapse. People start getting sick, and the very places meant to heal them become centers of infection. Then, the economy grinds to a halt. Think about it. Almost every industry relies on water. Agriculture is the most obvious one. No water means no crops. Fields turn to dust. Livestock die of thirst, and the food supply chain is severed at its source. This leads to massive food shortages and skyrocketing prices. People can't afford to eat, and farmers lose their livelihoods overnight. But it's not just farming. Manufacturing, energy production, even the tech industry, they all need water. Power plants use it for cooling. Factories use it for processing and cleaning. Without water, factories shut down, power grids fail, and millions of people lose their jobs. The economic fallout is catastrophic, leading to a deep recession or even a complete economic collapse. As the situation gets more desperate, social order begins to break down. When water becomes the most valuable commodity, people will do anything to get it. Imagine long lines, not for the latest smartphone, but for a single bucket of water, guarded by armed soldiers. This is what's known as water rationing. It often leads to conflict. Fights break out in queues. A black market emerges, where those with access to a secret well or a hidden stash sell water at exorbitant prices, exploiting the desperate. The gap between the rich, who can afford to buy or hoard water, and the poor, who cannot, widens into a chasm. This inequality fuels anger, protests, and riots. Trust in the government evaporates faster than the water itself. People feel abandoned and betrayed, leading to widespread civil unrest. The very fabric of society starts to tear apart. This internal chaos often spills over borders. Water doesn't respect political boundaries. Many of the world's most important rivers, like the Nile, the Tigris, or the Mekong, flow through multiple countries. When a country upstream decides to build a dam to secure its own water supply, it can effectively turn off the tap for its downstream neighbors. This has happened throughout history and is a major source of international tension today. These water wars might not be fought with armies and tanks, at least not at first. They start with diplomatic protests, trade disputes, and economic sanctions. But as people get thirstier and more desperate, the risk of actual military conflict becomes frighteningly real. A nation's struggle for water can destabilize an entire region, creating a domino effect of conflict and suffering. And what about daily life? It becomes an endless, exhausting struggle for survival. Your day would no longer revolve around work, school, or family time. It would revolve around finding water. You might spend hours each day walking to a distribution point, waiting in line, and carrying heavy containers back home. Education suffers as children are pulled out of school to help with this daily quest. Personal hygiene becomes a luxury. Showers are a distant memory. Clean clothes are impossible. The mental and physical toll is immense. The constant stress, anxiety, and exhaustion wear people down. The simple joys of life disappear, replaced by a relentless focus on securing the next drop of water. This also triggers mass migration. When life becomes impossible in one place, people will move. Entire communities, even cities, could be abandoned as people become water refugees, fleeing the dry lands in search of somewhere, anywhere, with enough water to survive. This mass movement of people puts enormous strain on the destination areas. It can lead to overcrowded refugee camps, competition for scarce resources in the new location, and social tensions between the existing population and the newcomers. It's a humanitarian crisis on a scale we've rarely seen before, creating waves of instability that can be felt across the globe. So, is this future inevitable? Not necessarily. but it requires urgent, massive action. On a national level, governments need to invest heavily in water infrastructure. This means fixing leaky pipes, which can waste a huge percentage of a city's water. It means building more desalination plants to turn seawater into fresh water and developing advanced water recycling systems. It also means revolutionizing agriculture. Techniques like drip irrigation, which deliver water directly to the roots of plants, can cut water use by over half compared to traditional methods. And we need to protect our natural water sources, our rivers, lakes, and groundwater from pollution and overuse. But it's not just up to governments. We all have a role to play. Simple changes in our daily habits, multiplied by millions of people, can make a huge difference. Taking shorter showers, fixing leaks in our own homes, not leaving the tap running, these small acts matter. Being conscious of our water footprint, the hidden water used to produce the food we eat and the products we buy, is also crucial. For example, it takes an enormous amount of water to produce meat and certain types of clothing. Making more mindful consumption choices can collectively reduce the strain on our planet's water resources. The story of a nation running out of water is a cautionary tale. It shows how quickly our modern world can unravel without this one essential resource. It's a story of public health crises, economic collapse, social breakdown, and conflict. But it doesn't have to be our story. By understanding the stakes and acting now, through technological innovation, smart policy, and individual responsibility, we can work to ensure a water-secure future for everyone. The time to act is now, before the tap runs dry for good. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the critical issues shaping our world. Stay curious and stay informed.